inside. The red lights go out, then the race is away. And I think Joe Ferguson's made another good start. That's how he won yesterday, from 4th on the grid. Now he's on pole position. He makes the better start, does he? Yes, he's into Corpse in the lead. It looks like Andrew Tibbs was there in 2nd position. The cars now head down towards Beckett, so the first time they're on board with Pip Hammond. He's chasing after Neil Trotter in the MG, who's drawn himself up alongside Poulsland, I think it is, and now Hammond goes round the outside. And the MG's been knocked sideways. Pip Hammond has to go straight on. Last year's Stock Cash Class B champion has been put right to the back of the field. Meanwhile, leaders into Brooklyn, and it's Joe Ferguson with a big lead. And into Brooklyn, the race leaders, Ferguson, Tibbs, Thornton, Jones. In the top 3, Farndon's in 4th. I think Tom Bell's still sitting there in 5th. All together, Mark Armstrong, a small gap to him. He's under pressure though. And now is that possibly from Patrick Fletcher? It is. Patrick Fletcher, driver side down in 4th. He won the grid. He did the same yesterday and got the podium. And the champion from last year, has he moved up to 6th? But he's not quite done it yet. But Patrick Fletcher on a charge once again today. Replay here of a sideways Pip Hammond through Cox Corner. He can't say that he's not pushing. Last lap, I think it is, into Laffield Dead, and it's Joe Ferguson that looks like he's heading towards 2 out of 2 here so far in the 750 Motor Club Stock Cats Championship. This looks a good way to start the championship for the driver from Great Dunmow. He will take the race victory. Joe Ferguson wins then here at Silverstone. Nick Forder-Jones right behind him as they cross the line, but it's not good enough. Forder-Jones didn't quite take the victory, although a great drive from him. The race is away then. Big Stock Cats round 3. That's a great start from Patrick Fletcher. He leads as they head down to Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Then it's Tibbs in 2nd. They're trying to come round the outside of him is Sean Hagan as they all bundle into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Ferguson gets his car all sideways. They head up the hill. It's Fletcher with a big lead. Jake Bonder from pole side by side for 3rd. As they head into the Druids Hairpin for the first time in these very wet conditions. 30 minutes plus 1 lap. And they're all bundling in for 2nd. Tibbs and Hagan. Bonder's down to 4th. And Ferguson goes off. Ferguson's heading towards the tyre wall. He hits the wall hard. This car spin in the middle of the pack. Paul Jarvis almost runs into the back of Joe Ferguson as well. And the silver cars hit the tyre wall. Ferguson's rejoined well down the field though. And he's, I think, side by side with Jeff Humphries in the Citroen C2. Tibbs leading this long train of cars we have. And now Thornton Jones got ahead of Hagan. Now he's falling back as Ferguson's gone round Matt Fincham and got ahead of him before they made their way into Graham Hill Bend. So Joe Ferguson, number 34 car, ran out wide through Graham Hill Bend, but managed to stay in front. Up the hill into the Druids Hairpin, 28, Andrew Tibbs, 44, Nick Thornton Jones, 34 is Joe Ferguson. As they head now through the Druids Hairpin round the outside, has come Joe Ferguson to take 4th position away from Nick Thornton Jones. Has he? Yes, just about. So the driver from Great Dunmow in Essex. Ferguson been squeezed onto the grass there as they head into 30s. 1 to go at the end of this. Thornton Jones trying to come round the outside as they head through 30s. He's now got the inside as they head into clear ways, but Ferguson's going to try and come round the outside of Andrew Tibbs. Now remember that more grippy line now on the outside. Ferguson utilising that to keep himself ahead of Nick Thornton Jones and maybe, just maybe, to get ahead of Andrew Tibbs. Down the Brabham Straight they go. Into Paddock Hill Bend they will turn, and it's side by side. Is it for 4th because Thornton Jones trying to come sideways. Thornton Jones almost loses it through Paddock. Paul Jarvis, he can see the red lights go out now. The race is away. It's a great start from Tom Bell in the number 54 machine. He heads off the grid, and a great start from Sean Hagan. You can see in the rearview camera flying through the field. There he is then. He's gained at least 5 positions. Joe Ferguson now on the grass. Stephen Powell's made a good start as well. The team tries to move up on the inside. So they head into Coppish for the first time. Down to Charlie's. And it's Matt Digby that leads from Rory Cooper. Then Ward, I think, there in 3rd. And then look at that, then that's the cars to chase after Tibbs. There's a bit of a gap from them and the cars in front as everybody heads now up the hill for the first time. Then Tom Bell runs there in 4th position. Joe Ferguson can't escape from Pip Hammond as it stands. Complete the 2nd lap now. into Charlie's already. Matt Digby, big lead from him. Rory Cooper in second. Martin Ward under a lot of pressure from Tom Bell and Jake Farndon. Jake Farndon was one of the fastest people at Brands Hatch in the wet weather there. And off goes Ferguson, jumps over the... I think it was a bit of the tarmac runoff that he went over. Now Pip Hammond battling with Stephen Powsland up into Park Corner. They go then, and he's got in front. Powsland ahead of Hammond up into Park Corner. Then Andrew Tibbs having a good go at Jake Farndon, couldn't find a way through. We know he likes his moves up on the inside to the gooseneck. I wonder if he'd try that on this last lap of the race. He edges himself much quicker. He is from Chris Kirby. He edges himself closer. And again he looks for a gap which just isn't there, because Farndon has that one defended. And Farndon really quick through the gooseneck. Can he ever go down to Mansfield? No, Martin Ward has that one covered. So I doubt there'll be too many changes now. Paul Jarvis runs by himself there in 8th. He's managed to get away from Terry Rowton, who's having a battle with Sean Hagan. We look back to 11th. Matt Finchard must have made a mistake because he's got Wayne Harris, Joe Ferguson, all there right behind him. Pip Hammond's got himself back onto the back of that train of cars. To go on, and then they go out now. The race gets underway. We're on board with Paul Jarvis, who makes a pretty even start of the cars around him. On the grass there, Nick Thornton-Jones on the left-hand side of the circuit as he squeezes up on the inside of a couple of cars as they head down into Coppice. And Paul Jarvis trying to pick up a place into Coppice as well. Everybody heads into Charlie's then, and they're just about making it through on the first lap of this race. And it is Matt Digby that leads Cooper in second, Ward there in third, Tom Bell that like was fourth, as they now head up the hill towards Park Corner. Nick Thornton-Jones having a real go at Andrew Tibbs there in the 6th position. They turn through Park Corner and they head now down towards, through Chris Curve, down towards the gooseneck. Digby then breaking away from Cooper in turn, breaking away from Ward, who is in turn breaking away from Bell. I think Thornton-Jones and Farndon are going after them, and then Carter and Hammond absolutely nose to tail. The Stock Catch Class B, the classic Stock Catch champion from last year. Pip Hammond now draws up alongside Nick Carter. The two cars go side by side down the Park Straight, which then curves left before they get onto the brakes for Park Corner. And Pip Hammond makes it through. He gains a position ahead of the courser of Nick Carter. Nick Carter fights back into gooseneck. Round the outside he goes. Now, good can Paul Jarvis here. He follows Pip Hammond here into the gooseneck. That somebody's going to be side by side through here. They peer the other side. Jarvis couldn't make a way past Carter. And now he dives to the inside of Mansfield. Andrew Tibbs there as well. The four of them heading to Mansfield all as one. Now Jarvis drives over the inside of Carter. And he struggles on apex speed, and Tibbs goes through then. Andrew Tibbs is the person that gained a position. Tom Bell rounding off the podium. All this still lead Joe Ferguson with the championship lead. Although it got much smaller miles than what it was coming into the weekend. So let's take a look at the highlights of the first race, round 7 of the weekend of the year for the Stock Cats Championship here at Donnington Park. Matt Digby and Tom Bell won the front row as they headed down to Redgate. We ride on board with Pip Hammond. There's a bit of a collision just to left of shot. We're taking up a look at that on board with Paul Jarvis then, Patrick Fletcher and Ferguson, Martin Ward going round and right in front of us. Martin Ward's car ended up. Pip Hammond having a good battle here with Matt Fincham. Fincham defending the line. Actually, in fact, this is not Fincham, is it? This is Jake Farndon in front of us. Jake Ferguson just in front of him after the first lap. It was Bell that led Tibbs from Digby, Ferguson, Farnham and Hammond. And the rain started to fall, trying to trick out the drivers. They headed down towards the old hairpin.
Tom Bell still leading the way. Then a few laps later, Paul Jarvis seeing a load of cars heading off the road out the old hairpin. So he's on his way up to McLean's. He could find his way past them. Pip Hammond was one of the people. Let's see what happens. Joe Ferguson go massive side. There's Patrick Fletcher. That's cool. Going sideways. That's cool. Pip Hammond to go off as well as Jake Farndon. We can see there. So here we go then. The red lights go out for the second time this weekend. The cars head down towards Redgate for round 8 of the championship. You see Paul Jarvis is to the right there. We run aboard with Pip Hammond, the 2011 Classic Stock Cats champion. We turn through Redgate. Did everyone get through here safely this time? Paul Hammond finds it out the grass. Lots of mud out there. You can see the window screen has just been coated in mud. He rejoins the circuit but a long way down the pack, so he's going to be finding it up working about the order. We're on board now with Paul Jarvis heading around the outside of Sean Hagan, going through the Craners down towards Old Hairpin. He's also having a look at Philip Wright here, clipping the apex. Was Jarvis. Wright wasn't. He runs out wide, but he stays in front just about as we head up towards McLean's. Wayne Harris losing a couple of positions there as they head on to the start line. Pip Hammond is the next person to try and find a way past Harris. Phil Wright just in front of him as well. What's going to happen this time into Redgate then? Wayne Harris even trying to fight it out on the outside. Don't think he'll be able to do that. Pip Hammond giving him room though. So as we head on to the Craners, what's going to happen is Wayne Harris still there. Are we going to see him appeal the inside into the Craner cars? Well, Pip Hammond takes his line, so if he is still there, he backed out of it. As Paul Jarvis still falling further down the field with his problem. It's going to be Andrew Tibbs to take the win, just to Joe Ferguson as they cross the line. Tom Bell in third. These are cars all together, and in fourth position Martin Ward. The four of them separated by 8 tenths of a second. Meanwhile, side by side between Wright and Hammond, Philip Wright should just get 10th away from Hammond, and 12th for Paul. The red lights go up. We go racing here at Anglesey, and cars head down to turn 1 for the first time. A reasonably good start from Pip Hammond and Stephen Powelton. They're both making their way up through the field. Powelton squeezes through the middle of Roughton, and Hagan. Now Pip Hammond goes right round the outside of the whole pack as we turn in to the second corner of this Anglesey circuit, called the Banking. Now we head down towards Church. Roughton and Hagan still running side by side. Pip Hammond, they just in the rearview mirror. Wood's going to tuck, and Paul Jarvis was going to tuck behind Pip Hammond, but they dives up on the inside and gains position, trying to go past Hagan as well. The first bit really a hairpin before they turn, and Pip Hammond goes up on the inside of Hagan, gets that position. They've got cars going off absolutely everywhere at the top of the hill. Joe Ferguson smoking as well. Hopefully we'll get to have another look at that, because that was absolute carnage up there. Let's take a look then. Diving up on the inside with Jake Farndon, and he collected Matt Digby with quite some force. The car flew up in the air. So rather big contacts up there. Let's take a look on board the Paul Jarvis. You can see Farndon well and truly in the air, and Pip Hammond still really having a look. Final corner, lunge possibly here. No, Stephen Powelton has that one covered, so here gets 6th. 7th will go to Pip Hammond. We're on board with Paul Jarvis this time for the start of the race, and it is underway now. Good start from Jake Farndon and from Sean Hagan. They both blast off the grid down towards turn 1. Steve Powelton makes a good start as well. Pip Hammond up on the inside of Paul Jarvis as they run side by side through the first corner of this Anglesey circuit. Then one onto the brakes, lock it up there. Sean Hagan, hopefully will want to make it safely around lap 1 this time after the carnage up at the chicane on lap 1. So here comes Powers on the inside of Hammond. Hammond cuts him off though and stays in front. Somebody kicking up the dirt. That's not unusual, is it, in stock catch racing? Andrew Tibbs going for a completely different line to everyone else. He tries to squeeze up on the inside of Jake Farndon. He decides against that, cuts off, and now we get onto the brakes. Sean Hagan loses out to Paul Jarvis is very late on the brakes. Is he going to gain another position as well off Jake Farndon? Farndon's still got the inside for the second part of the Rocket chicane, so he stays in front but did lose that position to Andrew Tibbs. Pip Hammond is trying to find a way past Sean Hagan as well. Here comes Pip Hammond on the inside. Oh, contact there, knocking Jarvis sideways. I think, yes, it was Jarvis sideways. He's still on the inside. He goes back through. Steve Howden just tapped Paul Jarvis into a sideways into the Rocket, but Paul Jarvis held that together, stays in front of both of them. Howden was actually the one that lost out in all that. And now Jarvis under huge amount of pressure now from Pip Hammond, who's trying to come round the outside, heading into the corkscrew chicane. We haven't seen many people make this work, but if he can keep the car on the inside, which he couldn't, perhaps he had a way of finding a path. Paul Jarvis's car slides out a bit wide. He has to get back onto the racing line as quick as possible. Then the car that they've got to lap just about stays out the way, but the checkered flag goes out. Paul Jarvis does get that 9th position. And the lights are about to go out, and they do. We get racing 20, there should be 29. But Jake Martin's not there as the car's charged down towards Redgate for the first time of asking, and it is Hagan that leads. Martin Ward in second. Round the outside comes Tom Bell. He started on the 4th row of the grid. It goes sideways, no contact with Nick Ford and Jones as they head now out of Redgate. But I think Tom Bell has definitely gained positions. Yes, look, it's depending how this goes down the crane, it's for both him and Ferguson. It's well in front. Steve Bowden being turned around going into Hollywood. He manages to save it. The car was 90 degrees to the circuit, so they now head down towards the old hairpin. Cars off the road. Nick Ford and Jones swap sides and goes off into the tyre wall pretty heavily down there at the bottom of the old hairpin. So now the leaders making their way up towards McLean's, and it is a change for the lead possibly. Is Harry Campy. He's in the wall underneath the bridge. Howden then. But you can see who hit him, but you can see how sideways the car got, and I think there is your car. It's at 17. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if we can work out what happened to Harry Campy then. I just get turned around the front of Paul Jarvis's car. Typical first lap into both of them, I think. Novice drivers all getting into each other there. It was Ben Forbes in the 72 that turned Steve Howden around, but it looked like he was squeezed by Harry Campy, so it was 3 cars into one go. Off the road, Will Sargent hitting the gravel the inside of the old hairpin, or flying off the other side with Nick Ford and Jones. You can see how Jesse was there, the slightest of taps between Jarvis and Campy. Right, leaders through then, complete the first lap. Martin Ward is massively sideways. He's off the road now, but he stays in front of Andrew Tibbs. As off goes Fincham, off goes Deegan. Now Hagan's come back alongside in front of him. They've got to lap Barbara Schilliker as well down the craners, and she stays out the way thankfully, because who knows what could have happened there. So Deegan goes to the inside. Let's see how he gets this one done. Yes, that was nicely done. The 6th in front of Hagan on the exit of the corner. He carried the speed through nicely there. Just allowing Fincham did get away a little bit, but you'd expect that in something like that. Look at Joe Ferguson. Here he comes. On the inside of Patrick Fletcher, possibly for Coppice. Not yet, but the 2 cars turn through the corner. The way they've gone then, and it's Farndon who's going to take the lead. Bell goes second. Ferguson's third. Tibbs in the 4th as they now head on Hollywood down the Crater Curve for the first time of asking that. And they head down towards the old hairpin. It's all clean this time. Farndon, Bell, Ferguson, the top 3. There in 4th is Andrew Tibbs. Bell trying to get the run out the corner. It's all rather single file on this first lap of the race down the Crater Curves into the old hairpin. Now up under Starkey's Bridge and towards McLean's, and now it's Andrew Tibbs that's trying to attack Joe Ferguson. The 2 cars are going to be side by side as they head into McLean's. Tibbs tries to outbrake him, but he's around the outside here at McLean's, and that should mean that Ferguson stays in front. Does he? No, Tibbs has gone right round him. He's up to 3rd, but Ferguson's going to fight back into Coppice later on the brakes. He's got the inside line once again, and Joe Ferguson should move himself back up into that 3rd position. And side by side almost for 5th between Fletcher and Digby. Digby just gets cut off by Fletcher there, so Patrick Fletcher stays in front as the cars turn their way onto the Craner Curves. Got halfway distance in this race, so we've got the brakes for the old hairpin. The 2 cars nose to tail. Silverstone ahead of Ferguson, so he's started in 4th and Tibbs, 5th and Digby. Deegan gets 6th, back for 10th then. They made their way round the chicane. It's still just Sargent, but Jarvis gets the run. He draws up alongside. He's going to be in front of Will Sargent as they cross the line. Just in front, you can see there Patrick Fletcher, who's been given his championship up, his 2011 champion. He's the championship. No longer his. He likes a good start though. Bad luck he's had this year. Good start from Nick Fortin Jones in the 44 in the rear view camera there. So Peter Paul starts from Paul Jarvis just in front. We head into Richards for the first time then. There's Terry Boucher by in front, a bit of contact, possibly Nick Fortin Jones goes sideways. This car's going off, Wayne Harris is off. Jeff Humphries in the C2 returning this weekend, it's off. He's going towards the tyre wall. I think he's missed out, he's gone further than the tyre wall though. Pip Hammond coming around the outside there. We head through Montreal in the 71. He'll have the inside for Chapman Curve as we head, and it's going to put Howland on the grass there. He joins at Williams. We now head down the Bentley straight towards Brundle Nelson then to complete halfway through this first lap. So we head in toward Brundle and breaking down towards Nelson, and Joe Ferguson off the road. Harding's coming up alongside Phil Wright here, so the two cars are going side by side, and it's Fortin Jones trying to find a way past Rowton. Harding gets eked wide there onto two wheels onto the grass, and Joe Ferguson's now past him. He's going past Phil Wright as well, so that's 2 places there made up by Joe Ferguson. The back of that Kia car is Joe Ferguson, only 2.4 seconds behind his championship rival, so he's caught up a good part of 8 seconds throughout this race. Now on to the final lap, and Ferguson goes round the outside of 2 cars through Gorham. Jake Varden and Martin Ward, can he get this done? Yes, he brings the car in front of them, so now it's only 1 car between Tom Bell and Joe Ferguson. That fantastic manoeuvre on the final lap of the race. Go round the outside, not just 1 car at Gorham, but 2. And I think Shane Deegan's made a mistake somewhere because he's behind Steve Powser now, so that's another place that Ferguson's made up, so he's hardly lost any points here in the championship battle. So going into the final round, Joe Ferguson the favourite over Tom Bell. But we can start on board then with Paul Jarvis. He starts P6, the race gets underway now then, and it's Joe Ferguson versus Tom Bell off the front row, and there goes the championship. Good start from Martin Ward, he's trying to come, from Matt Digby, he's trying to come around the outside of Martin Ward. A poor start from Paul Jarvis. Matt Fincham 5th, 6th is Jake Varden, and as we head into Richards for the first time of asking, and Paul Jarvis gets his car all crossed up, the car slides towards the barriers, he saves it, hit the barriers, comes back across the racetrack in front of the rest of the pack, and somehow everyone else managed to miss him, but there's another action going on further down the road as well. Cars on the grass. Steve Howland's replay, he goes up the inside of Rowton, he tags Rowton, he goes round in front, Paul Jarvis is sliding as well, and then Howland just misses. And off as well, Matt Digby. So he just missed Paul Jarvis, and then Matt Digby was right there as well. But Steve Howland just about survived all that. Ward with 2 cars spinning in front of him. Now Pip Hammond, you can see the violent spin Matt Digby had on board with Andrew Harding, as he has the 2 cars slide in front of him. He had a big slide on as well, missed both of them. There's Paul Jarvis almost taking Steve Howden out. Wayne Harris on the grass, we get hit as well. Shane Deegan had a massive dent in the front of his bonnet. Steve Howden arm up in the air because it seems Howland go back to the leaders, and it's up to 2nd for Joe Ferguson. He's got ahead of his championship contender or championship rival Tom Bell, so Ferguson looking very good for the championship now. We have only 1 lap left at the end of this, so they come across the line to start their final lap. It's looking good for Joe Ferguson to take the 2012 750 Motor Club Deepest Tweets and Yokohama Capped Championship. Here are the championship results, and Joe Ferguson winning by just 12 points in the end. Matt Digby then in 3rd, not that far behind either. In 4th, Andrew Tibbs. 5th, Martin Ward. And to round up the top 6 in the race and in the championship is Matt Fincham.